Namaskar. This is Dada Rainjitananda. Welcome. Today is our last class. So this is the conclusion of our elementary philosophy course based on the teachings of Sri Sri Anandamurti. So let's go to today's presentation. So far, this is what we have seen. We have seen 9 different chapters of the book Ananda Marga Elementary Philosophy. The first chapter was what is Dharma? Then what is the cosmic entity? What is this world? Who am I and what am I? What is my relationship with the universe and the cosmic entity? How should human beings live in this world? What is the aim of humanity? Intuitional practice and its necessity, and why are people afraid of intuitional practice? Everything we have talked so far is related to us as human beings. This practice is for human beings. The minimum qualification that one needs to do this practice is to have a human body. And we know when we have the human body made of 5 fundamental factors, then consciousness gets reflected and we have a human being. One main aspect of the human being is the mental aspect, and the mind divided in these 3 parts. The chitta, which takes the shape of the object that we are dealing with. It takes the shape of the action. The Aham Tattva is the I who does something, the I who acts. And the Buddhi Tattva or Mahatattva, which is the pure sense of I. We have seen that the sense of being human, of I am, that sense of existence, is in that level, the Mahatattva. And deeper, the soul or the sense of witnessing, the witnessing entity, that's the Atman, the unit consciousness. And we have seen our relationship with Brahma. And Brahma formed of 2 parts, Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha is consciousness. Prakriti is the qualifying principle, which exists everywhere and is trying to qualify Purusha everywhere. But it doesn't succeed to qualify Purusha always. When it cannot qualify Purusha, then Brahma in that aspect is called Nirguna Brahma. When Prakriti can qualify Purusha, then Brahma in that aspect is called Saguna Brahma. Saguna means qualified, Nirguna, not qualified. And Brahma has no beginning, no end, no cause. It has always been there. Now the creation has 2 phases. One is coming out from Brahma, going all the way to the solid factor. And the other phase is going back to Brahma. So on the extraversial phase of the cycle, which is called the Brahma chakra, it starts from Brahma, which gets qualified, so that's Saguna Brahma. Prakriti is qualifying consciousness or Purusha with the sentient guna, means the Sattva guna, creates the Mahatattva. Then Rajaguna creates the Aham Tattva. And finally, the static force or the Tamaguna creates the Chitta. Then the five fundamental factors: ether, air, luminous, liquid, solid. Solid has a special characteristic, it can be divided. Now it is divided in innumerable unit entities, individual beings. That's the returning phase, the introversial phase. So first, in that returning phase, the unit being is very undeveloped, and that unit being develops, means the mind develops and moves from structure to structure, from undeveloped beings to more developed plants, animal, finally human form. And human beings, the last stage in this evolutionary ladder. We can do sadhana, spiritual practice, intuitional practice, to return to Brahma. We have seen that we don't want to return to Saguna Brahma, we want to return to Nirguna Brahma. At the stage of Nirguna Brahma, the unit is free from the influence of Prakriti. And that's the goal, to be free from the influence of Prakriti. And that is what Saguna Brahma wants, everybody to be free from the influence of Prakriti. And as human beings, when there is a physical body with the five fundamental factors obtained from Saguna Brahma, then consciousness gets reflected. That's the Atman. And we have the human mind, the Chitta, the Aham, the Bodhitattva or Mahatattva. And here in this Bodhitattva or Mahatattva, in this part of the mind, that's the feeling of I that we have as human beings. So this is kind of a little bit a fast overview. Now I want to get some input from your side. From the concepts that we have presented during the course, various concepts, which concept would you like to be explained again? From whatever we have seen from all these chapters, and is there something we should explain again today? Now, one very interesting point in this basic philosophy course is the statement from the author of the book that the purpose of everything is the liberation for everyone. That Saguna Brahma, his purpose is to liberate everybody. The creation was made in such a way that everybody is moving towards liberation. And the purpose of taking a human body is to do sadhana and get liberation. So everything that is happening is something spiritual. Everything that happens in our life is a spiritual experience. Any event, people who come in our life, things that we do, things that happen to us, everything is just happening because it is taking us towards liberation. And the moment we open our mind for that and we become aware of that, then we start seeing that everything in our life has a purpose and everything is happening in a good way. And when we start doing sadhana, then we start connecting more with consciousness, means our mind is reflecting more consciousness. Then we can perceive more this whole scene, and that the whole drama that is happening with us is taking us towards liberation. And what is this liberation? Liberation is the final liberation we want, and that is merge into Nirguna Brahma and not into Saguna Brahma. Nirguna Brahma, when we merge into Nirguna Brahma, then we go beyond the influence of Prakriti, and that is moksha. If we are merging in Saguna Brahma, we are still under the influence of Prakriti, and that is mukti. And when we reach mukti, Saguna Brahma, in the state of Saguna Brahma, what is happening? Again, that we are going to do the cycle again. But reaching to Nirguna, moksha, then we are free from the influence of Prakriti. Some philosophies say that creation is an illusion, Maya, everything is Maya. Whatever we see is just an illusion. But we have studied in a different way. We said that creation is a thought projection of Saguna Brahma, and therefore it is not absolute truth. Brahma is truth, absolute truth, or Satya. But the creation is a relative truth. It means it is there, it exists. We are experiencing it. Therefore, it is true. But it's not absolute truth. It's only changing. It's a relative truth. And why it came into being? It is the way, the method that Saguna Brahma takes everybody towards liberation. And some people ask the question, oh, why this whole thing happened? Why did Brahma created this thing? And at the time I gave this answer that only a devotee can understand it and can answer it. But an intellectual, if we analyze intellectually, we think, yeah, why is it all there? But a devotee thinks like Brahma was alone. He needed someone to be with, and that's why he created this whole creation. And another important point of the philosophy is that everything is Brahma. We are sitting in front of the computer in a room, either in the sofa, on a chair. All that is Brahma. All is made of Brahma. It's like the raw material is Brahma. One statement that we hear all the time is that God is omnipresent. In light of the philosophy we studied, the statement is not absolutely correct. When you say there is an object, for example, our computer, and Brahma is omnipresent, so he's present in the computer. It means there is the computer, there is Brahma. That creates two things. But the way we studied is that everything is Brahma. So the computer itself is Brahma. It's not that Brahma is present there, but it is Brahma itself. And what is our Dharma? is to seek Brahma. But you see, Brahma is already everywhere. Everything is Brahma. It's just that we cannot see it. So our mind, our chitta, is taking so many different shapes, and we are seeing all those shapes, but we don't see Brahma. We see the various shapes that our chitta is taking. So how to see Brahma? We have to stop our chitta from seeing all those shapes. It means suspend the chitta. Now the chitta is suspended. We are in the aham. The feeling in the aham is that I do something. If I'm thinking that way, I also can't perceive, I can't see Brahma. So I have also to stop the aham. So when the aham also merges into the mahat, now I'm in the pure feeling of I. And there is no difference between my pure feeling of I and the cosmic I. So at that point, I perceive Saguna Brahma. When I perceive Saguna Brahma, it's like the two eyes just merge. So one merges into Saguna Brahma, experiences Samadhi, Savikalpa Samadhi, merging in Saguna Brahma. But we also talk that that's not the final goal. So the Mahat also has to be suspended, and only consciousness remains, unit consciousness. The moment our Mahat merges back into consciousness, there is no difference between our unit consciousness and cosmic consciousness. So we merge. It's just like a pot full of water inside the ocean. You break the pot, water becomes one. Unit becomes cosmic. And our life, every moment, we are doing something. So what to do? Do good actions. Prakriti has a law. Every action, there is a reaction. So if we do something, we get the reaction. That's the karma phala. So when we act, we have to act in such a way that we don't get the reaction. How can you do that? If you act under the inspiration of consciousness, then you don't get the reaction. How to do it? Ideation. It's not me who is doing, everything is Brahma. If we can create that ideation, then when we act, we are not getting reaction. Now, the whole process that we are doing is to escape, not to escape, but to come out from the influence of Prakriti. Prakriti utilizes two forces. One is avidya maya. Avidya maya puts us in bondage. The other one is vidya maya. Vidya maya liberates us. So we have to take shelter on this vidya maya. Then we can move forward. Avidya maya is the one that keeps us in bondage, doesn't let us move towards consciousness, keeps us under the influence of Prakriti. How to use Vidya Maya? That we will learn from the Guru. A great preceptor can teach us how to expand our mind, how to reflect consciousness more and more, how to be away from the influence of Prakriti. And who is the Guru? The real Guru is Saguna Brahma himself taking a human form to teach sadhana. The system that Saguna Brahma created is to put himself also in front of us in a human form so that he can teach us something that we can do to overcome the influence of Prakriti. And when do we meet this guru or preceptor? We meet the guru when we have desire for liberation. When we have that desire for liberation, then we meet the guru. We learn the practical process how to get liberation. Okay, so I got one question here. Could you explain again chapter 3, What is this world? Where it talks about imagination and how an imagined object appears real in imagination. Okay, so let's think about that. We talked about the creation and Brahma. And we said that creation is something crude and Brahma is subtle. If creation is something crude and it came from Brahma, if something crude came from Brahma, so the seed of crudeness has to be in Brahma. If that seed of crudeness is in Brahma, then we cannot say that Brahma is subtle. But we said that Brahma is subtle. So what was the choice? The choice was that the creation is not real. So it's not a created reality. It's just a thought of Brahma. And a thought of Brahma, therefore, is subtle. A thought is subtle. So creation is a thought projection of Brahma. Therefore, it is not a created reality. It's just an imagination of Brahma. So creation is an imagination of Brahma. So Brahma is thinking, and the thought of Brahma is the creation. So creation is still something subtle. Okay, so why do we, human beings, see this creation as a reality, as some, let's say, crude reality? Why does it happen? Let's get back to the process of the mind, how the mind works. Suppose I'm here now and I'm looking at the computer. So my chitta is taking the shape of the computer and I'm listening to the talk. So that sound also is taking shape in my chitta. Therefore, I'm perceiving the computer with the slideshow in front of me, and I'm getting the sound of the talk. But suppose in this moment, I'm not paying attention, and I'm thinking that tomorrow I'm going on holidays. That's in my mind. And I'm thinking that I'm going on holidays in Costa Rica, and it's very beautiful. So my mind is taking the shape of Costa Rica. And I'm thinking about the beach, nice weather. So in this moment, I'm not anymore listening to the talk, and I'm not anymore seeing the computer in front of me. What is in my mind is the image of the beautiful beach, nice blue sea, and the nice weather. That's what is in my mind. So that's what I'm experiencing that moment. So the reality for the mind in that moment is what is in the chitta. So now what is in the Chitta of Brahma is the creation. So if the creation is in the Chitta of Brahma, it is also influencing our Chitta. So that's why what is a reality for Brahma, because Brahma is thinking that is his reality. His thought, what is in the Chitta of Brahma, is what is happening for Brahma in that moment. So that is also happening to me. It's influencing my Chitta, and therefore I see that as a reality. So whatever is in the Chitta of Brahma appears to me as the reality. But what it is just the imagination of Brahma. And now I'm going to ask you another question. And this question is, from all the concepts that we talked about, which one was for you the most interesting or the most eye-opening or the one that you take as, oh yeah, that was really a new understanding for me? So I want to hear from you which concept from whatever we saw was really interesting for you, or the most interesting, the most eye-opening. The first one I got is liberation as a final goal for everybody. Yeah, normally people don't think in this way. We come to this world, we don't really know why we are here, what is the purpose. And most people, if we ask them what's the purpose of life, they will not really be able to give a good answer. No. So this is very interesting. Liberation as a final goal for everybody. Then the next one, the Dharma of Saguna Brahma. You see, many religions, people are asking God, oh God, do this for me, don't forget me, come and help me. But now we were talking that the Dharma of Saguna Brahma is to liberate everybody. Means it is his job to liberate everybody. So imagine how hard time he's having to liberate all the people. Some people are not even thinking about it. So how he will create in the mind of people, how did he create in our mind the desire to think about spirituality or to do spiritual practice? Maybe one day in our life we were just living a regular life oblivious of liberation, spirituality, not even thinking about it. And then somehow circumstances created in such a way that we arrive to a point that we start thinking about it, talking about it, and then that's the work of Saguna Brahma. Okay, another one here, the theory of creation. Yeah, that's also very interesting how this whole process goes in such a way just to take us to liberation. So that every unit from Saguna Brahma will go to a whole cycle just to be liberated. And the last one I got here, I thought about human dharma before, not Saguna not Saguna Brahma's dharma. Right. Our dharma, we want to reach to Brahma, and the dharma of Brahma to make us reach to him. So both are coinciding that way. Good. Okay, we are in the question and answers now. You can ask any questions. And then there are two more points here that came up. One is okay, related to something interesting was to know about Nirguna and Saguna Brahma. And a request here, talk a little bit about why people are afraid of sadhana. Okay, different reasons are there. One is people are very much engaged in the world, doing their job, taking care of family. So they don't think that they can balance a spiritual life with the regular life. So they give minimum to the spiritual life and maximum to the worldly life. Means maximum to the job, to the family, like this. And if they have a little bit extra, then they give a little bit to the spiritual. Because they feel that if they don't give everything to the worldly life, like suppose they don't really do the job like the main thing, they may lose the job. And then they may not be able to maintain their family. So there is a lot of fear, a lot of insecurity that if I do 1 hour or half an hour meditation during my day, then people will think that I'm neglecting my family, neglecting my job. So what people don't realize is that everything is controlled by Saguna Brahma. And what Saguna Brahma wants? Everybody to do sadhana. So what can happen? Okay, all this is my personal opinion. So what can happen? I will give so much time to my work, so much time to my family. So Saguna Brahma now has to do something so that I start doing meditation. So what is Saguna Brahma going to do? It's going to create problem in my work. So much problem until I will feel helpless and I will not like my work anymore and I will want something else. He will also create problem in my family because so that I don't become thinking so much of the family and then I start thinking about something else. So it's better we give time to Saguna Brahma to do what we really should do, our spiritual life. And other things will adjust. We cannot neglect it. We have to take seriously the work. If we are supposed to work 8 hours a day with sincerity, then we work. At the same time, during our work, we have to be realizing that everything is Brahma. We have also to give time to the family. Yes, we give the time, but we already have our time for spirituality. If we realize that the spirituality is what controls the whole, then we'll give a little bit more time to it. At the same time, Saguna Brahma is not willing or does not want that we neglect other duties in the society. So if you see, Saguna Brahma took a human form. Now he's teaching sadhana. What kind of sadhana is he teaching? The sadhana that he's teaching is such that you can live in the society, practice it, and get realization. You don't need to go to the jungle. We talked about that. The myths why people are afraid means they think you have to neglect your other life so that you dedicate to spiritual life. You have to sacrifice many things. They think, oh, if I really do spiritual life, then I have to sacrifice so many things in my life, all my comforts and everything. But that's not the thing. It's not that to follow spiritual life, I have to be poor. This is a dogma. I have to utilize the objects in the right way. Of course, I should not accumulate what I don't need. I should not take more than what I need. I should see that the society is balanced, that people everybody has everything. I should give proper use to all the objects, seeing Brahma in everything. So I should not accept injustice, because if I'm doing injustice to someone else, that is Brahma in the form of someone else. And I should treat Brahma with respect, and I should give to Brahma in that form what it needs. So all this, so people also, it happens in our society nowadays that even religions, they create fear in the mind of people. Many religions are based on fear. If you don't do this, you go to hell. So if by fear of hell, you do it. And if you increase the fear in the life of people, fear is one of the enemies, one of the parts of avidya maya, one of the bondages. So fear is avidya maya. The more we increase fear in the mind of people, the more we are keeping them under avidya maya. So even as meditators, spiritualists, if we meditate, but if we have a complex of fear and we meditate because we don't want to be punished, so that's why we meditate. That's also, we are encouraging this complex of fear in our mind. So we are bringing our mind under the bondage of Prakriti. That's why spirituality really, really blossoms when fear is removed, when we don't have anymore any fear. It's not that we do something because we fear, but we do it because we love. Why do we meditate? Because we love to meditate. Why do we do service to other people? Because we love to do service. And not because by doing service I will get some good credits with Brahma or with God. No. So that, so when we can transform fear into love, then we really enjoy spirituality. So the fear that people have for everything comes also in the spiritual field. Religions will say, oh, that those people will wash your brain, brainwash, avoid it. So you avoid because of fear. Don't talk to those people. Don't listen to them. Don't hear that. Don't see this. Don't read that. Everything more and more fear. And that comes to the fear of spirituality. The main thing is people are afraid of losing something. Maybe we are coming to the end of our course. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Good night. Namaskar.